What if I told you 4 hard-working young men left home to celebrate and never returned? What if I told you the people meant to protect them were the same people who ended their lives? And what if the only reason this story did not die was because one ordinary Okada rider chose not to stay silent? Tonight, I will tell you the story of the night the river spoke. Listen carefully, because this is not just a story. It is a question to all of us. In the busy city of Abuja, there was a popular mega mechanic workshop. That was where 4 young men worked: Emeka, Silas, Chucks, and Ola, between 24 and 26 years old. Strong, full of dreams, hands always covered in engine oil, hearts full of hope. From morning till night, they fixed cars, heavy engines, damaged vehicles, under the hot sun. Fun was something they rarely had, until one faithful day. After a good market sales, Emeka smiled and said, "Tonight, we enjoy small." They all agreed. Just small happiness. Just small freedom. They went to one of the hottest spots in town. Music was loud, lights were shining, people were laughing. For the first time in a long time, they felt alive. They talked about opening their own workshop, becoming big men, taking care of their families they did not know. The night was watching. It was past 12 a.m. when they left. The road was quiet. Then suddenly, a police checkpoint. They were not afraid. "Nothing concern us," Silas said. "We are clean." They stopped. Torchlights flashed into their faces. "Where are you coming from?" "Open your boot." "Step down." They cooperated. Then one officer said quietly, "You know, say night work no easy. Anything for us?" They were asking for money. Emeka answered respectfully, "Officer, we no get anything extra. We just a go house." Something changed. The officer's face hardened. Accusations started. "You be robbers. You be fraud boys." The boys were confused. Voices got louder. Hands began dragging. Then, gunshot. One bullet, one body dropped. Silence. Everything froze. One of them was gone. Just like that. The remaining 3 stood there shaking. The officers looked at each other. Panic. These ones don't see everything. And in that dark moment, a wicked decision was made. They forced the 3 boys into their van and drove into the night, far from the checkpoint, near a lonely river. The night became darker. By morning, 4 young men were no more. The officers believed the secret was buried. But in Africa, we say, the ground may hide blood, but heaven sees everything, because someone was watching, an Okada rider. He had sensed danger. He hid inside the bush. With shaking hands, he recorded everything: the gunshot, the dragging, the river. He went home shaking, afraid, confused, but alive with the truth. Days passed. The workshop became silent. Their phones were off. No one came home. Families cried. Friends searched. Police said, "We are investigating." Nothing happened until one morning, a fisherman saw bodies by the riverbank. The river had returned what evil tried to hide. The city shook, but there was no suspect. The case was almost forgotten until courage walked into the palace. The Okada rider went to the community chief. It took time before he was allowed inside. When he stood before the king, he said, "My king, I know what happened." He played the video. The palace became silent. The king watched and watched again. His voice was firm when he called the commissioner of police. "This land will not hide this evil." Investigation began immediately. The officers were arrested. They denied everything, until the video was shown in court, clear, undeniable, painful. The courtroom was filled with tears. On the final day, the judge said, "When those trusted with power destroy life, the law must speak louder than their guns." The officers were found guilty. Murder, abuse of power, conspiracy. They were dismissed. Sentenced to life imprisonment. No honor, no badge, no freedom, only prison. The government paid compensation to the families. Scholarships were created. Public apology was made. But money cannot replace a son. At the mechanic workshop, their tools still hung on the wall, untouched, because some engines can be repaired, but some losses cannot. Today, people still talk about that night in Abuja. Some say justice was served. Some say justice is never complete when life is taken. But let me ask you something. If that Okada rider kept quiet, would anyone have known the truth? And how many rivers are still silent today? If you were that witness, would you speak or would you stay silent? Tell me in the comments, because this is not just a story, it is a mirror. And sometimes the river speaks, but only when someone is brave enough to listen.